John Driskell Hopkins is perfectly in tune. The 51-year-old multi-instrumental musician, who goes by the name Hop, has played in front of millions of fans across the world as a founding member of the Grammy Award-winning group Zac Brown Band. He's a songwriter, and co-wrote the band's first #1 hit on the Billboard chart, Heavy as the Head, featuring vocals from the late Soundgarden singer Chris Cornell. The song made Zac Brown Band only the second musical act after Bon Jovi to have a #1 single on both mainstream rock and country charts at the same time as Homegrown soared to the top on the Jekyll plus Hyde album shortly after its release in 20. He's a devoted father, husband, brother, actor, theater geek, the ultimate Tenacious D fan, and has honed his craft as a musician for decades. He formed his first band, Brighter Shade, with Andy Birdsell in 1996. After decades in the business perfecting his craft, Hop knew there was an issue with his body. Last month, he shared with his fans that he was diagnosed with ALS. "I started noticing some issues with my stability and my speed on my instruments and just general mobility as early as the fall of 2019. Hop told Fox News Digital during an interview ahead of Global ALS Awareness Day, which is on June. Hop had been taking cholesterol-lowering, prescription statin medication for plaque in his arteries, with side effects that can often include weakness and muscle pain. His doctors agreed to go off the medication for a few months, and Hop noticed his symptoms weren't improving. But Hop would have to wait to get more help as the coronavirus began spreading throughout the United States in early 2020. By March, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic, and former President Donald Trump followed with a national emergency as states began issuing stay-at-home orders, virtually shutting down all non-essential businesses, which no one did anything for 18 months, he recalled of the shutdown. When people would ask why he didn't feel good or what was going on, it was difficult to pinpoint a specific issue. It was kind of hard to localize what it was that was bothering me, but I kept telling people, there's something wrong with me. He further described the onset of his symptoms. If I got angry or if I got, emotionally happy or showed some sort of, any sort of emotional response, and then I would walk across the room, my knees would kind of lock up. The only thing I could liken it to is cerebral palsy, where if one gets emotional, one doesn't have as much control over their muscle. Hop was diagnosed with ALS in December 2021. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is named after the former New York Yankee great who was forced to retire in 1939 due to the debilitating disease and after playing for the team 17 seasons. Gehrig retired at the age of 36 and died 2 years later. ALS is a progressive neurological disease which targets the nervous system and motor neurons in the brain and spinal cord, weakening muscles and the cause is unknown and symptoms can vary, but muscle weakness that worsens over time is common in many cases. There is currently no cure for the disease and progression of symptoms varies from each case. When you hear something like that, the world gets really small and the anxiety was pretty rough, Hop said of his initial diagnosis. I'm in a different place now, but I also believe that my progression is very slow, and I'm hoping that it continues to be very slow and that I'm able to perform for many years as we continue to find new solutions. Hop publicly shared his diagnosis in May 2022 and has since been building the Hop on a Cure nonprofit foundation dedicated to not only funding more research of the disease, but also providing awareness and creating a community to support people living with ALS.